I'm Mr. Delgado. Hi, I'm up in Cuba, and I'm the chemistry instructor. I'm also the science department leader at the high school. And one of we've been doing PBL for a while. Originally, we started during a really difficult time, which was right before COVID. And when COVID hit, we continued it. And one of the things that we've learned here at the district is that our one of the challenges we had from the get-go with PBL, especially, was really making sure that the students didn't see it as an extra thing that we were throwing at them. It's not supposed to be an extra thing. It's supposed to be incorporated into the class. And so that was something that we found out really early on, that if it's seen as an extra thing, or if it's seen as something extra that we're putting on top of everything else that we put on the students, it's really met with a lot of dislike. But if you spin it and it's something that you're incorporating all the time throughout your lessons and incorporating it into everything that you're already doing in the classroom, it just turns into something really, really successful all of a sudden, right? And so based on that principle and based on the successes that we've seen doing that, this year I'm going to highlight one of them. So what worked and what went really well was that the platform worked really well with us for Canvas. The content was grade level appropriate, which was really, really great. The scope was clearly identified in the projects. And in this project, there was actually a couple, but the one I'm showing stuff for was, I'm going to read it off my board right here. It is chemical engineering, carbon nanofibers. And so supported NGSS and STEM ready standards. Had excellent support questions, great for remote students. So we really saw a lot of the remote students respond really well to this. Creating a visual scope of work using information provided. That was a really, really cool thing that we were able to do, was actually take some of that information and turn it into a visual that you can put up into the classroom really easily, and so that the kids see it all the time. And I thought that in particular was one of the strong points of the whole project. It was really easy to adapt to a larger poster that we put up in the class, and it was up all the time and everybody could see the scope. And I can show you a picture of that. What were the challenges? Still working on effective differentiation strategies. So that's something that's always a challenge, and especially with remote work, is really working to provide a lot of differentiation. So that's something that us as a science department are working to come up with, strategies for differentiation. What would we do differently? So implement, so like I said, we really want to learn to adapt a little bit more, pivot a little bit more for students that want something extra, or have something else to go along with it to kind of deepen the learning for those students that are really, really at the top. So that's something that we're working on. And so when we pick a project, we're trying to figure out ways to respond to the really low performers and to the high performers as well. So, and that's something that also goes along with our MLSS. Make a one-piece poster for the class in each classroom. We're going to try and do that for every project that we do. Add alternative ways to demonstrate understanding. And that was really an important thing. And that's one of the things that we did to do this, was we wanted to incorporate the things that the students already are using in our classes and have them work together to support the project, so that this isn't seen as an extra thing, but something that's working together with the other programs. So we have a Labster program, and we have a Padlet program that we use, and all those three things we use to tie the project together. And they did parts in each one of that supported each other, and that worked really well. Review all materials provided for each project. Ensure that the project is related to the standards, and that's something that we're working on as well. Is really making sure that we go through the projects and really line them out for the best time of the year, and when it goes good with what we're covering. And these are some examples. So, and this is what I was talking about with the big. This is actually a big poster that we came up with for this project. And so it had a scope and it had a sequence and it had steps and it had a timeline. And it was really, really easy to do that with the information that was provided in the project, because I thought that that was fantastic, because we've used some other programs in the past. And I've actually used a program called Odyssey, where I don't know if you guys have ever seen that or anything, but some of those are very vague at the explanation part at the beginning, and they don't like have everything all tied together in a really nice space. These ones are all really, really nicely tied together, and I really liked the way that they had the introduction, the overview, and they had all the information on like what was happening and when, so that you could decide how to divvy up the project into sections and into goals. So I thought that that was excellent. So that's a picture of that. And then on the left, if you guys see my screen, you can see like these are examples of the Padlets. And so inside the Padlets, the kids would use, they do the definitions, or they'd be using the terms that are used in the project, and they would put those into the Padlet. And the Padlet is like a record of everything that they're learning over the course of the semester. And so these are like their own little world that they get to pick exactly what they put in there. And they it uses it to support the project. So research, anything else that they have for this stuff could be easily put into this. And it's kept with everything else that we're learning. And they see that the stuff that the big goal is that they see that the stuff that they're learning about in class ties directly to what they're talking about in the project.